out to the infamous Red Cup. I see you sipping from it. So tell the public a little bit about yourself and where they can find you. You're a content creator like myself. You love the sport of boxing, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's Nayka on YouTube. I'm a very small YouTube page. So it actually I just got over 1,000 followers not too long ago because I started this thing called Boxing Versus, where I get like boxing fans who love to debate, and they're just debating each other for like 3 rounds for 3 minutes, and then I had like 3 judges to just like judge every round, and that's how kind of my page started getting a little bit of a buzz. But I'm a
You're
boxing
right.
fan. I'm not, that's all, because there's some haters out there who think I'm trying to be like, more than just a boxing fan. But I just do this for fun. I have a job that I work during the day, and then when I have time, I hop on YouTube. So.
Well, thank you for coming on. I did hear about you because of your verses. Our co-host Mario Munguia actually follows you on Twitter, maybe, or follows someone that was part of your verses, and he's like, "Yo, you got to see what she's doing." And I checked it out, and I definitely respect it. So we reached out and wanted to have you on. Now, Alex, I
Thanks
don't
for
know if you.
having me. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you, Alex. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself before we talk some boxing with her.
Yeah, how do I pronounce your name again? I do not want to murder it.
Nayka.
Nayka, nice to meet you.
Are you Latin by any chance or mixed? Because you sound like Amanda Serrano.
I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I knew it. I'm
From
like,
the
yo.
from the from the Bronx.
Okay. Well, I'm Dominican and he's Honduran, and I heard some Amanda Serrano there. But listen, we got 4 main topics. First one is Crawford saying that he'd beat Canelo. So, what's your thoughts on Crawford saying he'd beat Canelo?
Well, I'm a Crawford fan, so I was like reading all these people in the chat hating on Crawford. But I don't think that he would beat Canelo, because I'm also a Canelo fan as well. But I really don't see him saying that anybody would beat him, to be honest. He's just that kind of fighter. It's not like they're comparing him to like a heavyweight or somebody that's like impossible to beat. So I don't see anything wrong with him saying that, to be honest. And like I heard someone say earlier that I think he is trying to get his name back in the media so he can get all these fights and get his name out there to like, all the fights that the fans want to see, because, leave it to everybody. He's not fighting anybody. But I feel like this man could fight Jesus, and they're going to say, oh, Jesus was past his prime. He was a nail to the cross. Like, he don't get no points for that. So it don't matter what he do. He's never going to get his just due. So whatever. That's just my opinion on that.
So, with this Bud fight, I feel like he'll get a lot of credit. I know what you're saying, though. Crawford does receive a lot of hate. And but I just think that everyone loves Porter, right? Everyone loves his style. They consider him a top fighter. And at the very least, I think everyone is calling this a tough fight for Crawford. Whether you think he's going to win or lose, it's a tough fight for Crawford. And if you can, say your channel again. I'm getting messages asking for your channel.
Knockouts with Nayka. Nayka. I'll type it in the chat. Because I'm actually on the chat with my other account. Knockouts with Nayka.
All right. What was the other topic? That's the two, John.
Well, we got obviously Wilder breaking his silence and finally congratulating Fury. I don't know if you want to talk about that or talk about the Wilder fight altogether. What were your thoughts this weekend?
I was rooting for Wilder, and I thought he did obviously better than the second fight, but I just think some fighters have your card and your number, and Fury's one of those guys that has Wilder's number. He's no matter how many changes he does in his camp, Fury's gonna have his card. He's too big and too skilled to do anything with this guy. Like I feel like maybe Wilder worked more on strength and not conditioning. because he just gassed out so quick. He like kind of went balls to the wall in the first round, and I don't know what round he got his eardrum busted, but it looked like he definitely didn't have his equilibrium for the remaining of the fight. Like, so that was pure heart and that carried him through the fight. Not to mention he was carrying the maybe 285 plus that Fury was, toting. Where if you don't have no legs and then you have this big guy just throwing all his weight on you, like I don't know how he could have won that fight. And then today when he posted the congratulations, to be honest, I'm surprised they did it because it was such bad blood, and I didn't really think those words came from him. I think it was like a PR person, to be honest.
A lot of people said, yo, I was getting messages like, yo, he copied and pasted Malik Scott message.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was like. I told somebody today, I said it looked like Malik Scott kind of wrote that out for him because Malik Scott did, congratulate him right away on his Instagram. So, he probably took the control and did that for him.
Initiative.
But,
I can see him taking the initiative to do some damage control because I see Malik Scott's interview with Ellie Setback, and Ellie asked him, and Malik, he kind of made a bunch of noises, like a bunch of grunts when he was trying to answer because it's like he feels like you go to war with someone and you congratulate them at the end. But how would you have handled that situation? Do you think that Wilder's entitled to take a few days to let it sink in, and like he said on his post, reflect and then decide what he wants to say?
Yeah, I think he's entitled to take as much time as he wants. We can't like me. When I get into it with people online, they apologize, but I don't get over it until I feel like I need to get over it. So I feel like, I honestly don't think he wrote that, so I don't even think he's over it. I really do think it was Malik Scott that wrote that post for him. I saw a clip of him in the corner that they replayed today that he was saying that he doesn't respect Fury when he was trying to go over to Wilder at the end of the fight, and he said no love, I don't respect you. So I just think it was done for like the sport so people can kind of like hush up and maybe shows good sportsmanship. But, he in his head thinks a lot of things were foul play in the last fight. So, he's entitled to, congratulate when he wants or when he doesn't want to. Fighters have done worse, I don't think this is the worst thing in the world. Fighters have done worse. Look at this guy. One of these guys, I forgot which. It was Anthony Durrell. His uncle.
His uncle punched
when
he punched his Tatsuki.
So it's like, people have done worse. Like, oh, he didn't apologize. He didn't congratulate right away. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Like, get over it.
Do you think it's so? Do you believe that it's Wilder that told Malik Scott to write it, or Malik Scott just put it on his own?
I don't think so.
Your ID just gonna write, because I know that some have an account manager, somebody that kind of writes their stuff. So I was just curious. Yeah.
Isn't his hand broken? Like his knuckles are messed up and all that stuff. He ain't typing all that stuff out. Somebody did that for him. So he might have said, "Okay, go ahead and do it." He might have gave the nod to okay it and co-sign it, but I don't think it was his initiative or like his words. But I'm trying to get some UK fans to debate, some American fans on there, specifically maybe like the topics that we're talking about today, like the congratulations and like how the fight went. But these guys really take these debates seriously. Like they get so emotional about it. It's crazy. Like one guy, he lost his round. And he was trying to argue with my judges, and I was like, "My guy, I'm not charging you sanctioning fees, and you're not getting a belt. Like it's not that serious. Like this is 3 rounds of debating. Like you lost, and that's it. You're not gonna go back and forth with my judges because you lost. Like get over it. It like I didn't know it was that serious, but I have to be more mindful that people really Like if they can't get in the ring to box, they're gonna take debating about boxing a little bit more serious. But oh my god, it's crazy.
Two more topics. Oh yeah, this weekend's fights, man. I think the one that I'm most excited for is Emmanuel Navarrete versus Joel Gonzalez.
Joel Gonzalez.
I think that's
I am too.
the most even fight for us. I don't believe Mikey's in a real fight with Sandor Martinez, and I'll watch it on DAZN because I got the annual package. But I think Navarrete is the pick'em fight, and it's on a Friday.
Yeah, I'm excited for that fight too because I'm interested to see how Navarrete handles Joey Gonzalez because I really want him to like dog him because everybody's calling Shakur Stevenson a dog and he had like a long drawn out fight with Joey Gonzalez and so I would love to see Navarrete kind of like give him the business because I saw Shakur Stevenson call Navarrete out after he moved up. But my guy, you had the chance to call Navarrete out and fight him when you were at 126, but then you moved up. So, I really want Navarrete to like do way more than Shakur did to him. Yeah, make a statement, big statement. So
So you're not impressed with Shakur, or is it the personality that turns you off?
Oh,
the personality is a big factor, but I just don't really see like this big dog and monster that people are like claiming that he is. He wins fights, yes, and he's a skillful fighter, but he's not out there like knocking people out and doing all that. And to be comparing him to Mayweather, I'm like, oh, where is this monster that you guys talking about? I haven't seen him. He hasn't even knocked out the people that he was fighting in the fucking gas station. Those civilians ate those punches. They ate those punches,
Stop it. Those civilians was on the floor. You lie.
No, one of the ladies, this guy, he was like giving some good uppercuts to this guy, but he was eating those punches. He wasn't laid out.
I hear you. I remember that. So. I remember that video. You are funny. I don't know. I don't think it's about the knockout power. I think it's his skill separates him, and that's why they're comparing him to Floyd.
I guess I want to be generous like that.
She said, "I don't want to be generous." That's crazy.
He got hit the last fight, and he was like, "Oh, I got hit. His power was scary," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So when you get in there with somebody like who he probably be getting into the next weekend, he's gonna feel some power, and I know he's gonna just like stick and move. He's gonna run the whole fight. So.
Oh my God! So you call it running too?
Well, it kind of is running, but he's winning fights like that. He's sticking and moving. He doesn't want to get hit, and in boxing, if you don't get hit, that's a good thing, But when people are saying that he's a dog and he's a monster, like he's not in there standing head to toe to toe with people to be calling him that,
I guess I get your argument. Those words are more for the dude that's blood and guts, but I think they're just going based off the skill and the fact that he's barely being touched. And Nakatilia is a puncher. Like, we might not know him, but that's all he had on his records was knockout. But maybe I'm biased. Shakur is from Newark, New Jersey. I'm from Newark, New Jersey originally, so maybe I'm biased.
You are biased. You are biased. Somebody saying Shakur guy. I never said he didn't have skill. He is definitely a skillful fighter, but he's not a monster in there. I'm sorry, he's not no monster in there.
Yeah, but like, what's your interpretation of a monster?
Yeah, who's a monster in this sport?
I feel like if he is in there with the fighter who is going to come forward on him and who has power, he's gonna have a lot of problems. And somebody who knows how to cut off the ring and stuff like that, he's gonna have problems. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't been in. Who has he fought? That's just
Joel Gonzalez.
Really? Come on.
So
he, and you know what? And the backstory that they had with him with Joette was, he was dating his sister,
Yeah.
and his family was calling him the N-word, and you didn't even knock this guy out. This guy called you the N-word, you know. You said you was
So
gonna
it's
knock
a
this man out,
so it's
and
about
it was a long, drawn out 12 rounds.
so it's
So,
about
yeah.
power for you. You think he's boring?
Yeah, he is boring. I don't think that I know he's boring, but I know that that's boxing. He's definitely a skillful boxer, but
Wow.
I just feel like if somebody gets in there and cuts the ring off, who has power and goes for it, he's gonna have a lot more problems than we all. Well, not me, but that you all think he will. So.
Nah, I hear you. I hear
I,
you.
Not Joette Gonzalez.
Somebody in the chat said Joette Gonzalez is a poor fighter. I feel like he should have did more to him than what he did.
Yeah.
That's why I want Navarrete to prove that he could have done more in the ring with him. So if Navarrete it makes a statement, I'm gonna be like, wow, Shakur, what Navarrete did this, so why did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, look, some would even say it was a heartfelt, emotional fight, right? He had a history with Joette Gonzalez, and you mentioned that there was some beef, in that lead up to that fight, and they were placed against each other, pitted against each other, and he had to do what he had to do. I'm not making an excuse for Shakur for as far as him not knocking him out, because at the end of the day, Joette's still a tough guy. We're gonna find out definitely though with this Navarrete fight. I think that it would be a good barometer for us to say, okay, well, Navarrete did this or didn't do this, and look how Joette Gonzalez did. Thing is about Shakur, what I like is that he makes it look easy. I never see him stressed out in there. And maybe we haven't seen that type of fight though, Nayka, that forward pressure fight, because we did see it with Joette. Joette tried. He tried to bring the Mexican style, and he couldn't do it. So
is that the only name? Is that the only name that you like that you would say was like a true test for him?
I mean,
he has more.
On his record, yeah, right now, yeah. I mean, he's only got like, what, 13, 14 fights, maybe 15 if that. I got to check, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have many fights.
And not everybody's running a fight, Shakur Stevenson. I mean, what's
your thoughts on that? Because he's obviously wanted to face Oscar, and Oscar Valdez keeps moving up instead of facing him.
Well, he had a chance to fight Warrington, and he didn't make that happen.
No. He had a chance to fight Warrington. He had a chance to fight Warrington, and they were willing to go all the way to Leeds, which is another country, and they offered him a low ball offer. He was going for a unification, and it was Warrington that then left Frank Warren in the middle of negotiations and signed to Eddie Hearn. Remember? Or I don't know if you do know. But he was with
chance to fight Warrington and Navarrete, and he moved up.
I don't know.
He had a chance to fight Navarrete.
Maybe Navarrete because it's same network and same promoter. But even that is up to the fighter. Like, why do you think Oscar is in every interview? And I mean Valdez saying, "Oh, I know that people want me to fight Shakur. I'm gonna fight him next," but it's not happening. It's not because Shakur doesn't want it. Shakur's disrespectful when he calls you out. It's the other guy that knows they can't deal with that style that you don't like. That's what it is.
Bow, sucker! Yeah.
That was him.
I'm just not a fan of his. I don't know what it is because I feel like he hasn't proven, like, the way he talks. It doesn't coincide with who he's fighting and how he's getting these guys out of there or how he's getting his wins,
I mean, I hear you and to some of the people in the chat, right? They're saying low ball offer was his excuse. Okay, so look at it like this. Shakur, look at Terrence Crawford. He's been with Top Rank how long? Forget how long. How long has he been at welterweight? They haven't been able to get him a unification, which is the same thing we're talking about Shakur not being able to get with Warrington. So if they can't get Crawford, who's way more popular, way more established, one ESPYs, unified, undisputed, if they can't get him a fight, why would we assume it's Shakur not wanting to fight Warrington and just the other way around? You're with a promoter who just doesn't really do business with people from other networks or other companies. You know, it was easy for Bob to do Loma versus Richard Comey because he's co-promoted with him. Easy to do Loma because he got paper on Loma and that's his fighter. It's not easy for him to do Teofimo Haney now because that dude's not with him. You know, I feel like whenever it comes down to the quote unquote other side of the street, those fights become harder to make.
I guess. I mean, you're from New Jersey, so I'm just gonna take your opinion with a grain of salt.
I love it. It's okay.
I see your point. You know, you make some valid points according to style, you know, and the way he finishes guys off. I mean, it's not like you're.
And to be honest, I don't think that he wanted this fight that he's getting now. I believe he wanted Herring to vacate that belt and fight for the vacant belt. He didn't really have that energy to fight Herring like that. It was he wanted to get the vacant belt. Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't know how you feel he didn't have energy for a dude that he was literally telling, like, we're gonna beat you up, vacate your belt.
Yeah, after a certain come on. He was playing the role. He didn't really want that fight. He wanted the vacant belt because he thought he was doing all that because he thought that Herring was going to vacate that belt.
Vacate how and why?
He thought that Herring wasn't going to take that fight.
Okay, but if he vacated,
and if he only had a certain amount of time to accept the fight, or he would have to vacate the belt, you know.
But that's my point.
He thought that Herring was scared to fight him, so he was banking on him moving up and vacating because, you know, for some reason he thought that
but that's my point.
Who was already a boxer, was scared to fight him.
But Nayka, that's my point. If Shakur is the type of person that thinks someone is going to be so afraid that they'll vacate, why would he be afraid to fight him? If he's standing there thinking you about to drop your belt rather than fight me, how is it?
Well, no, because he's a boxer, so that's the kind of attitude he has. He's cocky, so, you know. But then the Herring took the fight, so.
Oh my God! You gotta come. You gotta come be on our live fight chat on the 30th, man. You gonna have to. I want to hear you rooting for Herring.
And then let me tell you, I could tell. You know, I don't know if you watched the special that was on Monday on ESPN. Like,
I did it.
I believe he's having trouble. I believe he's having trouble making weight because I follow everything on his Instagram. He's like posting. On this Monday, he posted like all these pictures of himself like in sweats, and then like, you know, I'm pretty sure he had the sauna suit under it, and you could tell he's having trouble making weight. And then they barely showed him working out at all on this special. They were showing footage from his last camp when he was with B&B Boxing. So I don't feel like he puts the work in that he's supposed to. He's just a naturally skilled fighter, so he thinks that's all it takes. He don't put in the work like you think he does. That's my opinion.
Give it a conspiracy soundbite, please. She out here tripping. Listen, Shakur is one of the only fighters that I think Loma has never talked crazy about. You can't be not taking it serious and spar 12 rounds with Loma. Let's just be real. Come on. Come on, Nayka. Come on.
Oh, come on. Like, I don't know why you got this man on the pedestal like that. He has not done anything like that to be on the pedestal.
Yo, you know what? It's the same thing they used to say about Crawford. It's the same thing you used to say about Crawford. Mm. I used to say the same thing you're saying, right? I used to be like,
Crawford,
yo, why?
Crawford is knocking people out. He's getting people out of there like that.
But you see, that's what it is.
In the gym. He don't ever have church. You always see this man in the gym. Like, I follow Shakur on Instagram, so I see this guy is not doing the work that he's supposed to. He's having, I guarantee I can put my life on this that he's having trouble making weight.
Don't do that. You crazy? She said I'm gonna put my life on this. No.
He's having trouble making weight.
Listen. How about this?
Anything.
How about this devil's advocate side, right? Maybe he's not posting because they used to train in the same camp. So he's trying to keep it dark now. They think they know him, remember? That's what they said. They think they know him.
He was in one training camp and then that's it.
He
Like,
spars Crawford all the time, remember?
Yeah, but like if they're in Colorado together, but not like he don't train with them on the regular.
They know him enough.
For that last camp. And I hear things, so I know a lot of stuff that goes on in that every time. I know he's having trouble making weight. I'm telling you right now, he's having trouble making weight.
Not for this camp. Not for this camp.
I'm gonna send you the picture of how he was.
Yeah, we was just in his camp. Let me pull up. Let me see.
And booted, trying to lose weight. This man is having trouble making weight.
No way.
He's not getting proper sleep. He's up at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning playing spades. Like I'm telling you, he's not putting in the work. He's relying on skill, man. He's relying on skill.
We was just in his camp. We was just in his camp August 29th. That's after the fight was announced in Houston. I don't know. I just looked up the video. And I'm gonna have to show it. He don't look fat in this video. So you saying that somehow he gained weight and now he's struggling? This in camp right here. I can't even. Oh yeah, I think I could share this. I could share this.
He had trouble making weight last camp, and that's why when he didn't have this good, like his best performance last camp, he said that he wasn't feeling good. You know, I don't know.
It's COVID season, Nayka. It's COVID season. What's up with you?
He didn't have COVID.
I said it's COVID season. Everybody getting sick out here. It's the flu
he didn't
season.
Have COVID. Come on, my guy. Don't. Come on, don't throw the COVID thing. He didn't have COVID.
It's COVID. He got this flus. You know, it's that season.
He does.
Okay. So, but wait. So you're telling me that just because you were there at his camp and you saw him putting in work, like if he has people that are in his camp, he's gonna do a little work so you guys can see him doing something. Then when y'all leave, he's gonna be. We popped up his shit and going.
We popped up on him. We was actually there to see someone else and bumped into Shakur. We didn't even know he was going to be in the gym. That was a pleasant surprise. But I get what you're saying. Listen, it would be interesting to see if you're right or not. You know, everybody has their tips and inside sources. You know, you can't take that from you. But moving on to... They said I would have 150,000 subs if you was on camera. It's not my fault. I woke up from my little nap and they updated the software and we can't get nobody on camera but myself. So we're gonna wait until they address it. Till then, you're gonna have to hear her voice and know that she's a cross between like Cardi and Nicki Minaj. Nah. That was wrong. Do me just smiling. All right, so the last topic is Montana Love. I'm actually happy for Montana Love. This is a dude I've been talking to, or rather about, and having on this show for a long time. People counted him out because he got a draw, I think, with Samuel Teal. They thought he was too flashy, and his last fight he really put on. And now Eddie Santom, man. And that's got to be life-changing for him. The only thing is, like, I want to talk about is, like, who's he going to fight over there on Matchroom? You know what I mean? I just seen Regis sign with Probellum, the Richard Schaefer company, so that Regis opportunity is out. Is Montana a possible Mikey opponent? But Mikey's still fighting at 47. Is he a Devin Haney? Finally, a Devin Haney 140 opponent vacating his title, but that doesn't make sense. What do you guys think is the plan for Montana Love? I know that Eddie Hearn said in the press conference, Montana will fight on the Haney undercard or the Lopez undercard. I'm assuming he's talking Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Oh, I'm glad that he got signed by Eddie Hearn, but I gotta say this because I see a lot of people on Twitter, like they're giving all this credit for him being signed to like Jake Paul, and I'm like, you know, I'm not really a big fan of like Jake Paul and like all the YouTuber fighting.
I mean, he's doing his thing though.
He was fighting on the card, and you know, but I feel like this is all Montana's hard work. This is not on Jake Paul. You know, he went in there just because somebody gives you a stage. you still gotta perform and make shit happen. That is not on Jake Paul. Like, he's just stepping the game. You're not gonna give that credit to Jake Paul. To me, I'm sorry, he's just not. I don't know what their plans are with him, but it'd be interesting to see who they match him up with, because I think I saw somebody posted that he has like a 3-fight deal, so they have 3 fights to make something happen.
Yeah, I just don't know who, man. If in the chat, can you? I mean, no, I don't want Ivan Redcatch. Get out of here. So can y'all help us though? What's the options? What's the options on the DAZN Matchroom side? Let's try and stay realistic. I know that Montana Love versus Tank would be amazing, but that's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
140, man. I just Josh Taylor is the only guy I see up there right now. He's not gonna. He's got to fight a couple of guys before he even gets to any of these.
That's a good fight, but I don't think Josh Taylor's gonna want that fight.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.